Hello, friends. Welcome back to Sunday Shenanigans with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. And we are here with the ASOC Prod Cat and the Peanut Gallery. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Greetings.
It has been one heck of a week, ain't it? Let's start with the ad read first. Pre-rolls brought to you by The Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville, 105 West Main Street on the downtown mall. Above the bricks, Suite 200, a great place to go with some great buds to get some great buds, eh, bud? The only thing better than their bud is their customer service. Also, they have the lowest prices in town, according to my own personally highly biased research, by which I mean I was incredibly high when I did my personally biased research. You can find them on Instagram at The Hidden Leaf. You can also find our other two sponsors on Instagram, Kush Gang at KG Snacks 434, purveyor of fine drinkables and edibles, and Firehouse at Firehouse, spelled with a Z. Where there's smoke, there's Firehouse. A note of disclaimer, we will be discussing political topics today probably, and we will be expressing political opinions. Those opinions you hear expressed herein today belong to the expressor of the opinion, us, and or the channel and or parent company, but not necessarily any of our advertisers, including Hidden Leaf, Kush Gang, and Firehouse. All right, now that we got that out of the way, a quick bit of housekeeping. We will be taking next week off. All of next week, we will be taking off. Including the Tuesday and Thursday shows, and we may even not be having any DJ streams, although it's entirely likely that a DJ stream will pop up here or there next week. No telling when. I just wanted to let all of our listeners know that.
Yep. Entirely noted.
Right. So, give me just 1 second. I forgot to close the baby gate. I don't want the lad wandering in the middle of stream.
Yes.
All right, there we go. So, Peanut Gallery, you're gonna have to leave us in an hour, huh?
Plus,
What was that?
a little less, but
A little less, yes. We're estimating times around here. So let us dive into today's game. We're playing along with NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, this week with guest Delroy Lindo. I did not recognize the name, but when I saw the face, I recognized the face. Oops.
Right, who are they?
This fella.
Oh, yeah, him.
Yeah. He's been in a lot of things.
Yes.
And I can't name any of them at the moment. He has been,
This is what you have me for.
in everything.
This would have been a good show to have Darth Dragonis on. Because he would know.
Yeah. The Brockmaster of the media.
He would probably know, like, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd know at least a few. The cat keeps adjusting my camera.
Isn't that sweet of the cat?
Gonna have to do something about that. Oh well. So, yeah, today's special guest, Robert Lindo. That should be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Sinners. Says it right there. He was on Sinner. He was in Sinners, and he played the old blues musician. He played the old guy in Sinners.
For me, that only works if I've seen Sinners, which I have not.
Same.
You guys really oughta. Really good movie. Really, really good movie.
I keep on hearing that about a bunch of movies that I really do want to see, but never in the mood when I get the chance.
Yeah.
I
For
get
me,
that. I get that.
I am a Clive Cussler fan. I love the books. And they redid Sahara with McConaughey. And he played the CIA agent in that.
Okay. Okay.
Which was awesome.
Yeah. I did. Yeah, there is that. It's like, how are you going to get from Clive Cussler to Sinners? Oh, you're not.
Earl?
Okay.
I'm not. I am not. I'm noting that the actor.
At least you did.
Okay, fair. Detective Castlebeck in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Okay. Okay. Another one you'd recognize him from.
Wilkins in Broken Arrow.
Okay.
Ooh. Captain Wanta in Congo.
Which Congo? New one or old one?
The 95 one.
Okay.
With Amy the monkey.
Okay.
Gorilla.
Actually, I don't know if they made a new Congo. I'm thinking of Anaconda.
Yeah, no.
So the man plays a bunch of character actor roles of not a background character, but a character who is always of some importance to the storyline and has a position of authority.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. He brings a sense of gravity and authority to every role he plays.
Up to and including Isaac Stubbs in Beauty and the Beast, the series.
There it is. That's where I remember him from. He does bring, even in his role in Sinners, he does bring gravity and authority, just not in the same way. He doesn't play an authoritarian figure, but he plays an authority figure of some kind.
Mm-hmm. He's in charge of something somewhere.
Not in charge of. In Sinners, he's the blues man. He's the guy, he's like the head musician. He's the musician that knows music. He's the authority on musical matters. And somewhat on cultural matters.
He was in Up. He was one of the voices for Up.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
What dog was he?
Beta.
Okay.
Not Doug.
Yeah, and also not Alpha.
No.
Did not have a squeaky voice.
Nope.
No. Well, all right. Let's go ahead and get into the game.
Right.
Everybody clicked on everything?
This message comes from Invest 529,
Please
helping families
clicked.
save in the new year for their education goals.
Wait, don't tell me, the NPR
right.
News Quiz. I'm the voice so rich, it makes you sign a prenup.
Bill.
Bill Curtis is the name, and here's your host at the Studebaker Theater, at the Fine Arts Building in Chicago, Illinois, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, everybody. Great to see you. Great to be with you. We do have a great show for you today. Later on, we're going to be talking to the actor Delroy Lindo, star of the movie Sinners and many other great things. But first, this show marks the beginning of our 29th year on the air. Hard to believe it's true. And I just wanted to say, first of all, thanks to all of you who are listening for your patience as we continue to try to work out the kinks. And to my father, who is listening to this, I think it's time you accept I am not going to law school. So you can help us get this 29th year started by calling in to play our games. The number is 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. Let's welcome our first listener contestant. Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, Peter. This is Dan from Minneapolis.
Hey, Dan, I have spent a lot of time in Minneapolis. What do you do there to enjoy yourself?
Oh, what I do there for fun? I like to enjoy the winter skiing and ice skating.
Yep. And I want to point out, having lived in Minnesota, the skiing is the flat kind, right? Not the fun
I mean, there are a couple of hills around.
Yes. Well, welcome to the show, Dan. Let me introduce you to our panel this week. First up, her album Yell Joy is available on all streaming platforms. It's Joyelle Nicole Johnson.
Hi, Dan.
Hello.
Hi,
Next, a humorist whose Substack is Take Another Little Piece of My Heart Now. It's Roy Blunt Jr.
Joyelle. Hey, Roy Blunt Jr.
And a comedian you can see in Arizona on January 31st at the Fox Theater in Tucson. It's Paula Poundstone.
Hey, Dan.
Hi,
So, Dan, welcome
Paula.
to the show. You're going to play Who's Bill. This time, Bill Curtis is going to read you 3 quotations from this week's news. If you can correctly identify or explain 2 of them, you will win our prize. Any voice from our show you might choose on your voicemail. Are you ready to go?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. Your first quote is some stirring patriotic words from our president when he became a wartime leader on Saturday.
We're going to get that oil flowing.
He really wasn't hiding the reason he ordered the invasion
Venezuela.
of what country?
That would be Venezuela.
It would be Venezuela. And it was really kind of refreshing. I mean, while previous administrations have disguised their true intentions for various foreign adventures, President Trump, as you heard, came right out and said it, right? It's like they took the slogan, no blood for oil, and put a comma in it. No, blood for oil.
Yeah. No one has ever really called him refreshing before.
Yeah. Well, he's straightforward. I mean, there's a certain honesty and clarity. But speaking of straightforward, one of the things that was so weird about it was, like, they wanted Maduro out. They wanted to get him out of there. And they just went in and got him. They just took him. I mean, whatever happened to, like, subtlety in international sabotage, right? I mean, there was, like, some CIA agent who spent 5 years trying to seduce him, and now look. Right? This is also true, that to practice the raid, they built an exact replica of President Maduro's mansion in Kentucky, and they practiced on it. That is currently being torn down and replaced with a scale model of Greenland.
Did they really do that?
They really did
really
that.
practice on
They
it?
really did. They built a
Wow.
full-scale replica based on all their intelligence, and they just practiced the raid over and over again. So they knew
That
where to
is
go.
so McDonald's.
Yeah, well, it's McDonald's?
When McDonald's wanted to put a McDonald's in Japan for the first time, they said, okay, but you can't block traffic. And so they got this big warehouse, and they practiced building a McDonald's inside the warehouse until they could do it like that. And they were given, like, I think 24 hours or something.
Oh, wow.
They had to learn to build the McDonald's quickly.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very...
Is that widely known? Do you think the Pentagon said, okay, guys, we're going to do this McDonald's style?
You know, a lot of these things are interconnected. Did I tell you this before? Stop me if I told you this before. But did I tell?
Stop.
Okay.
I'm just,
Anyway.
I think they should have left that house there.
Yeah.
A lot of people would like to live there. I mean,
It's probably a very nice house being a
it'd be a
presidential
little
mansion.
awkward for a while, but
Yeah.
you know.
I wonder if Trump went into the fake Maduro house and redid the marble. Because, he's an aesthetics guy.
Yeah, it's true. All right, here is your next quote.
The blueberries are disturbingly large.
That was a nutrition expert commenting in the New York Times on the FDA's new version of what very famous chart?
Oh,
Food
the
pyramid.
The food pyramid. That's right. It wasn't just like the strangely large blueberries in the new food pyramid people were talking about. The new food pyramid advises Americans to eat a lot of red meat and whole milk. That's what's on the top, right? Turns out MAGA stands for Make America Gout Again.
They want you to eat meat, but it has to come from the side of the road. That's
Exactly,
so
yes. Roadkill only. In
Yeah.
fact, RFK Jr. did say he was going to overturn federal food policy, and he literally did. They took the old food pyramid, remember that one with the base of like the grains and fruits at the bottom and the pointy top, and they literally just turned it upside down. So now it looks less like a food pyramid and more like a food funnel. Which you're going to need some help to get all that meat in you, so it's good though.
Beef tallow. Everybody's into
Yeah.
beef tallow. I thought you made candies out of that.
Me too. It looks like.
Yeah.
What's interesting is they put this out with these new dietary recommendations, and a lot of it was pretty reasonable. Eat fewer processed foods. Eat less.
Let's touch on this beef tallow thing for a second. Ain't nothing wrong with beef tallow. However, we don't need it like we used to. It's not like we need this product for things like making soap, making candles, those kinds of things.
Nope.
I get frying in beef tallow. Sure.
Yes.
You know, why not? However, it's way more expensive than frying in other oils, using other oils to cook with. So, I mean, flavor, all the flavor is amazing, but, you know, again, expensive. It is expensive. And this is all before you start thinking about the health consequences. Not everybody can process massive amounts of saturated fat like I can. So, I have to imagine that this is not good for a lot of people.
I wish to note that they're putting that on there at the same time they're saying eat less processed foods. So they're putting more expensive stuff on there that is actually more expensive than the usual healthy stuff. That is actually going to leave more grease and stuff around than the processed foods.
Agreed. I mean, okay, processed food, a lot of the reason processed food is bad is because the more you process food, the more you take out the nutrients, stuff we need, and the more you end up putting in extra stuff we don't, extra salt, fat, and sugar that we really don't. That most of us don't. Let me rephrase that most of us don't. Again, not everyone processes saturated fats and salts like I do.
You and me both.
For me, it's the sugar I gotta stay away from. And they add high fructose corn syrup to everything they process. Now, being processed isn't, like I said, necessarily bad.
True.
They don't have to add all these awful things to them to make these processed foods, but they do.
The other thing is that this is also coming at a time when they have not only cut food benefits to people, but they have just started installing and beginning to roll out further restrictions on what can be purchased. Which, on the one hand, all the health people are like, yes, people people on food benefits should not be allowed to go get a candy bar and soda. Which I have many, many four-letter words to say to people that think that way.
Me too.
Because if you only have $400 of SNAP benefits to feed your family for the whole month, that's $100 a week, and you're putting things in place slowly that remove processed foods that are actually
cheaper
within your budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I'm yeah. Putting restrictions on what people can do with the assistance you give them only restricts the assistance.
yeah.
It doesn't do anything to make anybody make any better choices.
When the guidelines are such that you cannot buy healthy pre-cooked food because you don't have decent alternatives to cook stuff in your apartment or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the workaround is that people know this, so they're selling you raw chicken, but frying it for free for you after you've bought the raw chicken.
Right.
That is a very broken system.
Right. That is a very, very broken system. So, all right, we got some opinions out there. Let's keep going.
Sugar.
And dear, we only made it
Really?
6 minutes and 52 seconds in. It wasn't even 15.
2 questions. And we skipped talking about Venezuela because we'll probably talk about it later.
Oh, God, will we?
Administration, you would have predicted it would be more like the only meat you can eat is foie gras, and we need written proof the goose suffered.
I just think leave it up to RFK to like recommend a serial killer diet, because he looks like he eats raw meat.
I think he does.
Like, wouldn't you believe that? Yeah.
Okay, so I cook my meat as a courtesy to other people.
Yes.
Even then, when I'm eating cooking meat for myself, I cook it very
Gingerly?
I cook it very not cooked.
You wave it in the direction of the flame and say that's good enough?
Yeah. I mean, okay, I do try to get a sear on both sides.
That's
But
fair. I like the tuna that way.
I usually also try to get the pan up to screaming hot so that it sears in, 30 seconds. So I only have to have the steak in the heat for a minute at most. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I do cook pork thoroughly.
Well, that's because it's pork, and there's a reason. There's
Right.
a specific reason you do that.
But I also
Like
don't
chicken.
eat much pork. Okay, so
That's fair.
chicken. I was raised on undercooked chicken, and I can eat undercooked chicken. I can eat chicken that is not done.
Given
I
given
try to
all
cook
of
the
the
chicken all the way through. I do. But
yeah,
even if it's not, I'm gonna be okay.
given the recalls that have been just mounting more and more, especially over the last year, go figure.
Right.
I would rather have my chicken dead and dried out, because I really can't afford to go to the hospital with violent food poisoning.
Yeah.
Violent intestinal decompression.
That's the point where it's like, I'm just gonna go find a hole in the woods and you know, here's my car keys. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, undercooked chicken just doesn't make me sick. Doesn't.
That is good.
It's, it's one of those things I would never do to somebody else. I'd never be like, here, you try to survive off of the crap that I can eat. No. Most human bodies are not built to survive in some of the ways I've managed to make mine survive.
This is true, and I have to remind myself of the same sort of thing when I'm cooking for other people.
Yep. I did a lot of work to cut back the amount of salt that I cook with so that I don't poison other people. So that I don't...
Basically, you and I need to cook for each other.
Yeah. I cook like a person who is constantly dehydrated and in need of salt, because I'm constantly dehydrated and in need of salt. Picanito just did a dash for the window and slipped on his way up.
Alright. Hit play before we totally run off the rails again.
Yep.
I mean...
If we...
Okay, wait a second. I gotta say this before you have to leave. I do have to talk about this, Peanut Gallery. There is, out there in the world, a Joy Division, a fish-themed Joy Division cover band called Koi Division. And when I first heard this, I thought it sounded a little fishy.
You're just trying to be coy about it.
No, they're being coy about it. Okay, see, that's what I was waiting for to happen. It sounds like Picanito bonked something on his way out the window there.
Huh.
He had to go over Gandalf to get to the window.
That's hazardous.
Oh, yeah. The two of them have been a little more tetchy with each other this morning than usual. I've had to separate them from for playing rough a couple of times. And I'm used to it being Gandalf that's the one that starts playing rough, but I caught Picanito doing it too, and it's like, huh. And I think it's the fact that it's warm and sunny out there. And so they're just feeling it. All right, back to the show.
Yes.
If we found out that he did, we wouldn't smack our foreheads.
True. Really? Him? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
That guy?
Yeah.
Really? No.
Did you ever, I mean, I've always been suspect of the food pyramid one way or the other.
Right.
I don't know if anybody's ever, you get the general idea, right? When you glance at it, okay, maybe I should have more of this than that. But it actually used to say that you had to have something like 11 servings of grains a day. Has anybody ever been able to...
No.
You wouldn't be able to go into work. You'd have to be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be in again tomorrow.
The thing is, serving
I'm only
sizes
halfway
are
through
stupid.
They are.
Serving sizes are
grain
stupid.
Is, palm of your hand. And can I eat 11 palmfuls of grain in a day? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I can. I can eat twice that in a day. And because I like whole grains when I eat my grains. I do that.
So
the
it
next
says
day
11.
is going to be very... how do I put this pleasantly? I'm going to feel clean inside.
Yes.
So, what were you saying about before I
It says 11, but if you actually look at your serving size for things, what most people consider a decent bowl of cereal in the morning,
like 3 servings?
Yeah. So you've got your that, and then you've got, you might have toast with it. That's another serving.
2.
It depends on how many slices of toast you have.
I'm going with a slice of toast is a serving, and usually people have 2 slices of toast.
Like I said, it depends. And then, that's breakfast. You've gotten through, say, 5 servings of grain right there. Then
Right.
lunchtime, let's say you're having pasta for lunch. Something quick.
Don't mistake grain or starch for grain.
No, because I've got whole grain pasta, so.
Right. We need to state that we're talking about whole grain bread, whole grain pasta.
Right.
These things that aren't just bleached wheat flour.
Fair point.
I mean, wheat is a grain, yes, but it loses all of that when it's just straight reduced down to its flour.
Yeah,
Same
when
with
it's
corn.
reduced down to the bleached flour.
Right. Same with corn when it's reduced to corn syrup. It's no longer a grain, it's a sugar.
Yeah. But, you have something like a decent lunch-sized portion of a whole grain pasta. You've got probably another 3 actual servings of grains there, on top of the fruits and vegetables from the sauce, and if there's any meat involved.
Yeah.
So by the time you reach your supper time, you may have a serving of grain left. You may have 2 servings of fruit and vegetables left, and probably no protein.
Yeah. It is, I personally disagree with food pyramid idea in general.
Are you saying it's a scheme?
Yes. Yes,
What?
it is.
I asked if you think it's a scheme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A correctly shaped scheme.
Yep, I do. I think it's a mistake to try to standardize something that is so individual as diet. Sort of like it's a bad idea to standardize body types.
Mm-hmm.
Body weight. These are not. This is what standardizing.
BMI was invented as a quick and dirty way to gauge how many supplies the Army needed in a given area. It was never meant to be a health rating.
Right. What this accomplishes, what these standardizations, or what they miss, is really what I'm trying to get to. What these standardizations miss is that no 2 people are actually built the same. Like, no 2 bodies work exactly the same on the inside. Not just, do most of our organs operate slightly differently or interact slightly differently, but our internal chemistry is different as well. Each individual is literally an individual. We are not a standardizable species in any way. you can find averages. You can say, given all of the measurements I've taken, this set of numbers is the average of each of these. But what that number represents is a broad spectrum on both sides. It is not anything like an ideal or even optimal, really. You know, it doesn't, you know, there is no, and I would say that there is no singular ideal or optimal body type or body, you know, there are ways that each individual body can be operating in an ideal or optimal way. But to say that all bodies must have the same optimal is ridiculous. It is a false logic. And yeah, it's a false logic. It, you know, and even on a sort of an ethical and moral level, socio-ethical level, saying that each of us must make our bodies behave optimally is a very didactic, a very commanding thing, and I find it to be not just not useful, but cruel. You know, each of us are going to live the life we're going to live, and for some of us, enjoying that means not operating optimally. You know? Who is somebody else to tell me to be optimal? I'm going to be what I'm going to be to enjoy what I am. What? What? Okay, I hear E.
There's a in front of there. Cheese.
Cheese.
Now you're just being difficult. Shut the hell up.
I literally have no idea what you're saying.
Solidified.
Cheese. You're talking about who's someone to tell you to eat to be optimal, and my response is cheese.
Jesus.
Oh.
Because of your body's dislike of cheese, but your taste buds' enjoyment of cheese.
Cheese does not rule my life.
Oh, I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying there, and one of those things against being optimal.
I know, and I still eat cheese, because fudge it all to heck. Cheese is a very nice one to go for. You know, cigarettes are the one that I expect people to really go at me for. The suboptimal behavior of smoking cigarettes.
Right. Something to keep in mind. All right, we're talking about standardized things. There's a reason why it is as low as it is for your quote unquote daily calorie needs.
Okay.
They were first, all right, like with BMI, you know, that was a quick and dirty thing for the Army.
Yeah.
Daily calorie needs were something that was studied at a time when doing things to other humans and making them suffer in cruel ways was less frowned upon than it is today.
Yes.
So it was first started being studied in 1896.
Yes. We will be covering some of this on our Tuesday streams, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Having to do with the development of health standards from European influences.
Right.
We're currently still in the beauty standards before they transformed into health standards portion of the book. Okay, so one of the things I thought the caloric intake stuff, the caloric needs stuff was about was for sailors. And when the ships were beginning to get more industrialized, especially Navy ships. Naval ships. All ships are naval ship. No, Navy ships. Military ships. They wanted smaller people to fit in smaller spaces. So they came up with a diet, a dietary, dietary plan tailored for people who were small.
That might be partially where some of the food pyramid stuff came from, but the calorie thing specifically came out of a study of trying to figure out
what humans needed to survive, absolutely needed to survive.
Well, all right. You know how you figure out the calories that in a specific food, right?
I got some idea, but I don't remember the exact process.
You burn it.
I mean, yeah, but there's
the calorie count is specifically a translation of potential energy in the food to heat.
Yes.
So what they were tracking originally was how little we can feed you and still get this amount of heat/work out of you.
Okay.
And it was originally done by locking a graduate student in a cell and gradually feeding them less until their productivity went down to the point where it was not useful.
Okay. So the minimum caloric, or the base caloric intake that they give us is what you need to stay alive and do useful work.
Basically.
It is not actually enough for your body to
thrive on
or build muscle.
Depending upon your body type.
Right.
Because, granted, this is again taking place with male graduate students of a specific body type, because that's generally who you got in these programs in the 1890s.
So to survive off of that calorie count and no more, I would actually end up putting on weight, because the food that I would be eating would have to end up being very high in non-caloric roughage, basically. Non-caloric cellulose that just takes up space, which ends up making me big.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is, 1890s, if you've got somebody that is in graduate school, they're starting off from a place of most likely good nutrition and good health first.
Yes. Yes, they are. Well, all right. We've touched on all of that.
Plus, the various things that happened, only a few years after this was discovered, quote unquote,
Yeah.
and various checklists that were put in place.
Yeah.
Yesterday's grains. It never sounded practical. I guess
right.
that's
You're
the
right.
thing. I think,
Rub a little beef tallow on it.
It'll be slide right down.
yum.
Dan, your last quote is from a new type of influencer who is popular on TikTok.
The first 2 hours were manageable. I felt like a monk. The remaining 6 hours were much harder.
That was one of many people encouraging their followers to stop doing what?
Oh, jeepers. Can I get a hint?
Well, yeah, for example, you're not allowed to watch influencer videos.
Oh, stop watching
Oh,
TikTok.
get off your phone?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you to basically stop doing everything that distracts you and be bored. That is the plan. A number of popular influencers are pushing the idea that boredom is good for you. We need to put down our phones, get away from screens, all the distractions, embrace dullness. Oh man, now I see why my kids have been trying to hang out with me more.
I'm not totally against the idea of particularly younger people being bored sometime.
Really?
Yeah, I do think there is something to
There is value in
being
it.
able to think.
I agree with you because I have a 5-year-old, a delightful young boy, and this is the habit he's gotten into. If he is, and this is a real example, getting up from the table where he's just finished his meal and just walking the 15 feet to the door to put on his shoes and go do something, he says, "I'm bored." Just
that's-
walking across.
You
And
know
I'm like,
what? I
"Come
was
on."
at your house one time, and that stretch is rough.
That's true. Not a lot going on.
No, I don't
Not a
know.
lot going
Thinking
on.
maybe a poster, something.
And I'm like, Elliot, come on. You're a creative young man. You do not have to be bored walking just to the door. Just look at your phone, as I do when I do the same thing. Bill, how did Dan do?
Well, he did perfect. He's from Minnesota.
Congratulations, Dan. Well done.
I do think there's a lot of value in putting down your phone and being bored for a while. I think there's a lot of value in living with your own thoughts and allowing creativity to spark. I really do. I don't see how an influencer thinks this is good for their career. All I'm saying. Seems like a really bad idea for an influencer to be pushing this idea.
Especially if it's a case of, I'm going to start my live stream. And it's going to be a blank wall. And you're going to watch my live stream, blank wall, and be bored.
Right? Just saying.
There have been some meditation streams that I've stumbled across that were, for me and my own styles, worthwhile.
Right.
Staring at the blank wall through a screen would not be one of those.
No. Although, I have meditation videos up on the YouTube. The fall foliage footage video is a meditation video. The music is something around 20 to 30 beats per minute, and the video is just not repetitive. Oddly enough, nothing repeats in terms of video or music, I don't think. But it is very, boring. I also, though, I will say, and no offense to both of you,
Yes.
but I think most of our videos are probably kind of boring. I think that's part of why we don't catch a big audience. Is we're just, you know, our
We're not
videos.
screaming at each other.
We're not screaming at each other. You know, we have some fun and there's some laughter. It's pretty positive-ish. But there's also not a lot visually flashy going on, you know?
I mean, true, but
I mean, there is a lot
there's-
visually going on if you look around.
I know of streamers that they don't have a lot visually going on. They just have been doing it long enough to build things up. And they've got, 500,000, 700, almost a million.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm a male almost in my 50s. If I got flashy, the police would get involved.
Yeah.
Depends on where it was and if I got to you first, dear.
I also, there aren't any edits. I think that's really the thing that makes us more boring than other people. I am aiming for the award for most boring podcast because of the least number of edits.
I mean,
feel
that's fair.
If we had more edits, you know, both visually and audio and just general, like, I think we would, I think we'd be more interesting. At least in video format. I think we're pretty interesting for a stream. I think in streaming format, we're interesting. I just think, when you go to watch a YouTube video, we have too much dead air. Too much time where we're considering things, thinking about things, and too much awkward talking. Like, I especially have a hard time phrasing things in a non-awkward way and have to say things a couple of times to get there usually.
True, and I may be in a minority on this, but I appreciate seeing how people form their thoughts. I understand having edits to condense things for time on other things, but seeing how someone comes to their thought and how they're processing, that's nice for me.
Yeah, that's part of why I don't edit. I mean, part of it is I'm lazy. Part of it is, though, it's for the same reason I don't do nice makeup and, like, cover up all the imperfections and everything. It's because I want people to see what's really going on, what's real here. I want people to see what it looks for me to try to form a new thought, how hard I have to rub two thoughts together to get a third one.
My problem is, it doesn't take much for me to come to a thought. Most of my thoughts come to me like a band of war boys out of Mad Max trying to scream and throw grenades at me.
Your problem is picking just one to let loose.
Yeah. I mean, I do have those moments. But also, it can be very hard for me to take two pieces of information and make a third piece of information happen from them.
Of course, then when I'm trying to be productive, my thought process is still very much like Mad Max. The barren wasteland with nothing.
Yes.
There may be a tumbleweed, but that's about it.
So what you're saying is the inside of your head is a post-apocalyptic Australia.
Please see Riffs Games and Mountain Dew usage.
I feel seen.
Well, all right.
I really can't think of another game that just in general is more post-apocalyptic than Rifts. We have had this giant magical tragedy. Things have opened up everywhere. There has been a cataclysm. Things have collided. It's a shamble.
It is a very post-apocalyptic game.
Hole.
Huh?
Hole.
Hole. I'm not familiar with Hole.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you're not familiar with Hole. I would have thought that Trevor might be familiar with Hole. White Wolf game, not actually intended to be played. You're supposed to die in character creation. Human-occupied landfill.
Oh, you have told me of that one, yes. Yes.
I have heard of that one, yes. I do, I don't remember if it was old Cyberpunk or old Shadowrun. But one of them had a cornholed by God table where you'd roll for tragedy.
Yeah, that sounds like Cyberpunk.
I think it was like the alpha run of Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
25? Oh my god, wait, is it... Have we already surpassed the first year of the first run of Cyberpunk?
Oh, yeah. And what you're talking about is the random background generation.
Random background generation, aka cornholed by God. No, cornholed by the dice, but the effect is much the same.
Dice God, same difference.
Praise be to our and Jesus.
Who says no?
Yeah, that was a character creation. I want you to roll on the cornholed by God table. Oh gosh. I mean character background generation table.
Do you think we've said that particular pair of phrases frequently enough that we did that as quickly as we did, dear?
Which one?
All of them. And yes.
Yeah.
Just like how quickly I deny Highlander 2 ever happened.
What's that movie?
Exactly.
Stay safe,
Thank
Dan.
you. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Right now, panel, it is time for you to answer some questions about this week's news. Paula, very good news for older Americans. Engineers at the University of Colorado say they have created the first ever, quote, sexy what?
Donut.
Walker?
Robot? Yeah.
You don't think donuts are already sexy?
The kind you sit on.
No. you are actually close because it is a medical
chair.
device.
All right, do you got any other hints?
Well, I mean, like when a sexy one, you'd say like, whoa, those legs go on forever, right down to the tennis balls on the bottom.
Oh,
Walker.
A sexy walker?
Sexy walkers.
Oh, you know what?
You got that right. That really
we were
bothers
so close
me
to
that
that
you got
already.
that right.
Really?
Why did you know that? Cat.
Because I hang out with more old people.
Also just kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Terrified.
What
Really?
quote-unquote device is going to be so publicly seen that having a sexy version of it actually makes a difference? And Walker.
Orthopedic shoes.
No. No.
Oh yes, orthopedic stilettos. They come with the knee brace already built in.
You laugh.
Thank
Those
you.
exist.
My needs be met. Walker, sexy ranger. Hey, Maddie. Sexy Walker, the at.
I mean, it is.
No, this isn't the AT-AT. This isn't the This is the ATST.
All right, fine, the ATST.
All-terrain sexy transport.
Okay, fine.
I will also argue that the ATSTs really did need the extra help walking.
Yes, they did. Because the ATST was the chicken walker, right?
Yes, it was the two-legged, wobbly, like, box. It was the Baba Yaga's hut.
See, the biggest problem with the ATST is they were all constipated. They had trouble passing logs.
Thank you for joining us on today's show.
And with that, I gotta go to work.
Have a good day, dear.
I'm glad you got to make your way out on a poop joke.
It is. Wait, don't tell me.
Oh, this just, wow. This hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna hit play and get on with life.
Oh, yeah. You just got to look at it the right way.
So the problem is, older adults who need assistive devices to walk sometimes don't want to be seen with one of the classic clunky aluminum walkers. So a lab in Colorado has created a quote sexy series of them.
My brain clean.
If you really
with
want
the,
it to sound
with
sexy,
the
stop
Lysol
calling it a
pad.
walker and start calling it a polycane.
Nice.
It doesn't sound sexy at all to me. I think Walker sounds much sexier.
Really, you think so?
Yeah. Remember, wasn't there a series about a sheriff or something, and his name was Walker?
Walker, Texas Ranger. There's a sexy Walker right there.
Why would if it was
There
a
you go,
polycane sheriff?
And the question is, if these things are, as they say, sexy, will it make the people who use them sexy as well?
No.
Will seniors... Oh, okay.
If he has money. All right.
No. The question is, will seniors be saying to each other, let me slip and fall into something more comfortable?
Yes, but with the new little blue pills, you can get back up.
Coming up,
No.
we need a hero in our Bluff the Listener game. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play. We'll be back in a minute with more Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR.
Expenses.
Depend on Thrive at Plus.
Meet the Lib. We're unpacking the big guests.
Johnson and Roy Blunt Jr. And here again is your host at the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, Illinois.
So, Kat, do you remember that question you were going to ask Maddie?
Yep, I do. I do. I am putting it in chat so that it...
Yeah.
Maddie, have you seen, do you have any opinions on the, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, the Nazca mummies being declared not actually human, but probably an alien?
It's never aliens until it is. All right, that is a topic of discussion. Okay, so I mean, my reaction is it is never gonna be aliens. It's just never gonna be aliens. But when Maddie has a good scientific question there. What's the basis? And I think that's really the... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I was going to say, I think that's, instead of just dismissing an idea out of hand like I seem to do with aliens like that, asking what the basis of the opinion is, what's the research, is a way more scientific way of getting to it.
I honestly don't think there's been as much research into it as there could have been. I've seen 2 different stories that all cropped up end of the year, first of the year stuff. And unfortunately, none of them have been really truly good science articles. But supposedly, because they're looking at a whole bunch of mummies that have the elongated skulls, and they only have 3 fingers and 3 toes. This is one of the really not good articles, but it actually had a picture and not an entire video montage that you had to sit through of ads before you could see the picture.
All right. So I'm going to say that they're a combination of human and fake.
Yeah.
Are these mummies generally... known about?
I mean, I remember hearing about them when they were discovered. The other thing is that supposedly they do not have human fingerprints, and how you can tell that, I don't know. But, because I'm not on that level of scientific knowledge for this.
Okay.
No. There's like I said, there's articles. None of the articles that I've run across are actually true good scientific ones. Some of them are saying one thing, some of them are saying something else. There's actually another one that's saying, that has an argument in it in which people are arguing they're aliens, and someone's doing an examination saying they're dolls that were just kind of cobbled together.
I say go ahead and be flippant with the answer, and give a more
go
serious
ahead.
answer if you want. Your call. You are the expert in the field. Way too many white people and grifters would rather have aliens build complex monuments and structures rather than give full credit to non-white people. Yeah.
Fair. Entirely fair.
Yes. It's part of the problem of ancient alien theory.
Oh, yeah.
And so your flippant answer is? Yeah, that is, in my opinion, the biggest problem. Okay, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I will go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Okay, whatever this thing is wearing, this bit...
Yeah.
That bit is made of felt, like, out of Fraggle skin.
Maybe this is what came before the Fraggles took over Fraggle Rock.
Or maybe this is why Fraggles are no longer in Fraggle Rock.
Could be both.
Oh my god, it's wearing Fraggle skin. That's what happened to Red and Wembley. Oh my god, that cloak is made out of Wembley. Yeah.
Now, when you go back later, that is something that I should clip. Is, oh my God, they're wearing Fraggle skin.
Clip it right now. Oh my God, they're wearing Fraggle skin. His cloak is Wembley. I find nothing about this article to pass the smell test. Nothing about what they're talking about to pass the smell test. This is so not real. But that's my opinion. So, let us get back to the show. Oh, hey, what's this? Alright, we'll take a wander down this way. What is this?
Are you frustrated with skyrocketing electricity bills every month? Do the unexpected price hikes leave you feeling stuck and stressed with
Okay, so those are supposed to be dolls. Paper, glue, and metal, and human and animal bones. Okay.
Y los análisis de ahora coinciden con los análisis anteriores. Son elementos armados y pegados con pegamento sintético. Los pegamentos sintéticos no existen en la época prehispánica. Estos pegamentos sintéticos es a partir del siglo XX en adelante que están existiendo los pegamentos sintéticos. Salvo que los extraterrestres hayan traído su propio pegamento de otro planeta, ¿no? Cosa que no lo creo. Para tapar el agujero magno han sido colocados dos fragmentos.
Well, yeah, we do trust Associated Press. Can't believe I'm not subscribed yet.
Yeah, this happens.
We do trust the AP in general.
Right.
At least as being fact-based in their reporting. So. Alright. I will say Aliens and X-Files and stuff is fun. It is. It is a lot of fun. I love going down those imagination rabbit holes. And you know, we are in the fringes of Appalachia, and there is some weird stuff around here. That kooky stuff has been so weaponized and grifted on that it's possible to even go down those. It's not possible to even go down, especially given how flagrantly racist. Hey, Jessme Crystal, happy Sunday. Wonderful to see you. Mwah. A lot of it gets. Yeah. You know, I don't want to go too far down the cryptids rabbit hole because I'm sure there's racism down there too. But, well, I mean, when you start getting to lizard people, that's... There can be. But not all of it. Okay, that's good. You know, in the area that we're in the, you know, in Appalachia and in the Bigfoot is still pretty neutral. Okay, that's good. I mean, I'm not going with a lot of Bigfoots in the area. It's more of some of the other things are a bit more you know, the things like not deer and the whole unsettled spirits, and I'm dancing around saying what they really are because they don't like being called out.
That you've said enough.
But yeah, there are a lot of things around here that are just hella creepy. And I'm not sure if I'm never sure if it's, you know, I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say, oh yeah, none of that stuff exists. But also, I think a lot of people come up with a lot of explanations for stuff they don't understand. However, that sound of a baby crying in the woods at night is not, whatever it is. I don't care if it is a non-supernatural bird. It's cursed.
I mean, if you're hearing a baby or a woman, it could be a fox. It could be a mountain lion, even though we have been told that there are no mountain lions out here, despite seeing the tracks.
There are mountain lions out here.
Yeah.
You and I have seen get warnings about mountain lions up in the mountains. And we are close enough to the mountains that...
You get those, but are you getting those warnings from Fish and Game? Because Fish and Game still swears that we do not have mountain lions, that they are all gone from the area.
I don't know that I'm getting it from Fish and Game. I'm usually getting it
from... The official people swear that there are no mountain lions. Everybody else knows that they're full of something.
Mm-hmm. I'm 75% sure I have seen a mountain lion crossing the Blue Ridge Parkway as I was driving down the parkway.
There used to be at least one, if not two, that were loose in Schuyler.
Yeah. Although the packs of coyotes, I think, would probably make them want to move.
Probably. But there was a neighbor down the road that lost at least 3 of his cows to one. And he was told that he could not go after whatever it was because whatever it was not real.
Okay. So Virginia mountain lions are now a cryptid.
I mean, they don't exist. Here's the tracks. Here's the carcass. What made these tracks? Oh, those are mountain lion tracks. So we have them. Nope, they do not exist. They're extinct in Virginia. So if I find this creature, no, because that would be illegal because, you know, that's an extinct species. Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maddie.
Here's the church and here's the mountain.
Yeah.
Chicago, Illinois, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. Right now, it is time for the Wait, Don't Tell Me. Bluff the listener game. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to play our game on the air. How you were on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me?
Hi, this is Olivia from Greensboro, North Carolina.
My old friend Carl Castle, of course, was from North Carolina. What do you do there?
Well, I got to chase around my 3 young kids, but when I do get time to myself, I'll do a bit of cross-stitching or antiquing, old granny hobbies.
Well, of course. Well, it's good to start practicing now, but you'll be ready when you need it. Well, Olivia, it's great to have you with us. You're going to play the game in which you must try to tell truth from fiction. What is the topic, Bill?
You're a lifesaver.
Not all heroes wear capes. For that matter, not all heroes wear underwear. Looking at you, Batman. Anyway, this week we read about an unlikely hero saving a life or lives. Our panelists are going to tell you about it. Pick the one who's not lying, and you will win our prize, the voice of anyone you might choose for your voicemail. Are you ready to play?
I can't wait.
All right. Oh, nicely done.
Okay, Olivia.
All right, let's first hear from Joelle Nicole Johnson.
There are a myriad of industries devoted to adults fulfilling childhood fantasies. Some play tag, others collect dolls. Yikes. The creators of Cash Cash have the largest game of hide and seek in the world. But what happens when someone hides too good? Well, that happened this week. To the chagrin of the French, an American family purchased and renovated the Chateau de Mélan's castle for these childish shenanigans in 2018. And pandemic withstanding, things have been running smoothly. However, this week, a hider couldn't be accounted for after many hours. Insert the aid of Le Petit Détective. A 13-year-old kid cracked this case. Louis Dumas is the premier hide-and-seeker in the area and has won competitions, which exist. The clock was running against the group as a winter storm was brewing, and if the lost patron was outside, he could freeze. But in under an hour, Louis found the hider outside in the horse stables. Turns out the man had narcolepsy and fell asleep in his cozy spot buried beneath the hay. When asked for his inspiration, Louis said, "I grew up reading Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, and I want to be a detective one day. If Inspector Clouseau can make it, so can I." Well, that bar is low, Louis. A low bar indeed.
Okay. A young French detective discovers a lost hide and seeker. Your next story of a nice save comes from Roy Blunt Jr.
It's one thing for Indiana Jones, iconic hero of the great action movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, to be desperately fleeing a giant runaway boulder. That's what you get when you steal a booby-trapped golden idol. But what if you're just at Disney World, taking in a live show? It happens to be the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, and the giant prop boulder jumps its track and comes bounding toward you. The giant rubber boulder bounced menacingly right at the audience until a stagehand, identified only as Robert, ran out and put up a hand to stop it. He didn't allow for its being 400 pounds of rubber, so it knocked him flat. But he did deflect it from its path. "That man literally saved our lives," exclaimed someone in the crowd. "That element of the show will be modified," said a Disney World spokesman. Real action hero Robert emerged bloody but unbowed.
A Disney employee saves an audience
I think I saw
from
video
the
of it.
enormous rolling boulder in the Indiana Jones show. And your last story of a bold rescue comes from Paula Poundstone.
Early Souders is awfully glad dogs love Nestle Purina dog chow. Just after beginning his day shift at 6 a.m. at the Eden, North Carolina Nestle Purina dog chow manufacturing plant, Early Souders was inspecting the silo that feeds into the machine that bags dog food when hundreds of pounds of chow tumbled down towards him. While Souders almost met his maker, some local dogs experienced heaven on earth. Dog food factories attract dogs. On any given day, workers at this plant have to wade through as many as 30 dogs of all kinds that smell the food and come on by hoping for samples. So Souders' co-worker, Bud Schweppe, had a vision. Let those dogs in. Fortunately for Early Souders, Bud Schweppe let the dogs in, and fortunately for Nestle Purina, the security cameras caught the image of 20 dogs hurtling towards a cascade of Nestle Purina dog chow and literally eating it mid-air before most of it could even touch early Souders.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, Olivia.
All right.
Who was the true life-saving hero
we will
in
definitely
the
check
news
that
this
out in a
week?
second.
Was it from Joyelle Nicole Johnson, a young French boy who was able to find a person playing...
Everybody got their guesses in?
Mine are in.
Mine are in. Okay, I am hearing gunshots off in the distance. That's what that is. It's far enough away that it sounds like somebody could be pulling up onto my driveway.
Who hit a little too well. From Roy Blunt Jr., a stagehand at Disney named Robert who saved the audience from the perils of Indiana Jones, or from Paula Poundstone, a pack of dogs who managed to save a man from being drowned, smothered, buried in kibble at the Purina factory.
I think I'll go with Joyelle's story about the hide and seek.
You're going to go Joyelle's story about the competitive hide and seek in France, where the guy was only found through the detective work of a small child.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay. Well, to bring you the correct answer, we spoke to someone familiar with the real story.
A 400-pound fake boulder started rolling towards the crowd, and this dude jumped in front of it to save the crowd.
That was Tom DeBlas. He's a professional MMA fighter, commenting on how awesome it was that guy at Disney World jumped in front of Indiana Jones's boulder. And I'm sorry to say, Joyelle was lying. You did not win our prize. However, you did win a point for Joyelle, which I know makes her very happy. She's doing a happy dance. So thank you so much for playing, Olivia, and thanks for calling.
Bye-bye, Olivia. All right, let's check this out.
While you're reading, I'm stepping away for 1 minute, but go ahead and read.
Chariot of the Gods author Eric von Däniken dies at 90. His books mixing fact and fiction brought him both fame and scorn. From Berlin, Erich von Däniken. The Swiss author whose best-selling books about extraterrestrial origins of ancient civilizations brought him fame among paranormal enthusiasts and scorn from the scientific community, has died. He was 90. Von Däniken's representatives, his books used to be featured on late-night shows in ads. Yeah. I remember them. I vaguely remember them. Chariots of the Gods. These were a lot of these books. There it is. The book fueled a growing interest in unexplained phenomena at the time. And it started off what turned into this is like the OG modern grifting, and this led to the ancient aliens, it's aliens craze, and it's, they get referenced in a lot of those. The former hotel waiter, had a troubled relationship with money, and throughout his life and frequently came close to financial ruin. Not surprised by that.
No.
Yeah. Oh, he won an Ig Nobel Prize for Literature. That's awesome. Yeah, this was grift. This dude was grift. He was Grift Central. He pulled it off. Like, I love the Ig Nobel. Yeah, I love the Ig Nobel prizes too. They are. I love when someone's surprised that they've gotten the Ig Nobel Prize. That's always fun. They're like, I appreciate this, but I don't see why my research is not taken seriously. I don't see why my research on farts in bags is not taken seriously. I mean, it's technically methane capture, but yeah, farts in bags.
Mm-hmm.
And now the game we call Not My Job. Delroy Lindo is one of those actors who seems to be in everything. Movies like Malcolm X and The Cider House Rules and Get Shorty, TV shows like The Good Fight and The Chicago Code. His latest role was in the hit movie Sinners. He joins us now. Delroy Lindo, welcome to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Thank you.
I'm such a big fan of yours. I feel like I've seen you in movies and TV for a very long time. But I don't really associate you with one role, and I was wondering, do people recognize you mostly for one thing or another?
One thing or another.
Yeah.
Meaning different audience members have different references for me based on what they've seen me do. There is not one part in particular.
That said, it has always occurred to me, watching you in all kinds of different things, that your characters have a certain quality that they all share. And I actually heard you tell a story. You were on stage quite recently with your good friend Denzel Washington. And you told a story about how early on in your career you were approached by a guy on a bicycle. I think it was like you were getting your car, and that guy seemed to nail it. So I was wondering if you could tell that story to us.
So it's okay to curse on this show, right?
I think people get a sense. Go right ahead. We have beeps.
So I was parking my car on Park Avenue. This is many years ago in New York City, and a bicycle messenger passed me, young African-American gentleman. He stopped, backed his bike up, came to me and said, "Hey man, you that actor, right?" And I said, "Yeah, brother. Yes, I am." And he said, "You know what I dig about you in the movies, man?" And I said, "What, brother?" He said, "Nobody ever with you in the movies, bro."
And that, am I right, guys? Yes?
As I explained to Denzel, for me, I interpreted that as him having a certain kind of respect for whatever it is he had seen me do.
Yeah. It's true. As we have mentioned, you and Denzel have known each other for years. Students together at the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco, where a lot of great actors came from. He says that you gave him one of the greatest bits of advice he ever got as a young, starving actor. You said you could survive, what was it, on a loaf of wheat bread, a jar of honey, and a jar of peanut butter.
That's how I lived when I needed to.
Yeah.
Right? When I was the point being, that was a kind of a go-to that you could that one could get protein and get all of the nutrients that one needed.
Yeah, but I want to ask immediately though, when you first started making money, or maybe just the first time you got a paycheck for acting, what was like the good thing to eat, the first thing that you bought?
Okay, you will learn this about me. I'm not going to answer the question, but I will give you an answer.
Oh, please.
So when I made a little bit of money, when I first made a little bit of money as an actor, the thing that gave me the most joy was to be able to send money to my mom as proof that. Thank you. As proof that not only was I gainfully employed from in a profession that my mom did not want me to enter.
Right.
So it was proof that I was not only gainfully employed, but I was sufficiently gainfully employed that I could send her some money.
That's nice.
You know, I don't think you're doing that well, and I would like to adopt you.
Well played.
I want to talk to you about
Well
Sinners,
played.
which is an amazing film, one of the biggest movies of last year, which will hopefully reap a lot of awards. This is a movie, again, filled with music, brilliant music.
Oh, yeah.
Extraordinary
Brilliant.
music. And you play a musician.
Yeah.
A singer and piano player. Did you have to learn? Was that a talent you brought to the table when you walked on set?
No, I received a lot of instruction. I had 3 brilliant musicians, New Orleans-based musicians, who worked with me on my relationship to the keyboard.
Right.
And I also had instruction on the harp, the harmonica. So I had a lot of instruction.
Yeah. Do you still play now that the movie's all wrapped in the past?
No, I have. God bless them. The producers gave me one of the keyboards. I've been so busy, frankly, I haven't had a chance to get back to it.
I don't know, man. If you don't practice, you may not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know, it's true. I want to ask you this before we move to our game, which is we understand that one of your legacies as your youth in Britain is that you were a big fan of soccer.
I am.
Man U, right?
All day long.
All day long, Man U. You're a pretty prominent guy. Has the team honored you? Have they had you there? I mean, they have a lot of fans, but you're pretty...
Man, they have not, and give them a call.
I will.
If
only I'd known. Are you then very excited for the upcoming World Cup?
I am.
Yeah.
I really, really am, yeah. Very, very much so. I'm not sure. I don't have tickets yet. Anybody in the audience who has influence there, can give me a call. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's a sad thing when someone like you has to ask us. But
yeah, right.
All right,
really.
but do you have any divided loyalties? You grew up in England. You live here. Is where your career's been. Are you going to be rooting? You know who you're rooting for?
Actually, that's a really good question. And I would say the answer, do I have divided loyalties? I would say I'd like to see the English team do well. I'd like to see the American team do well. So I guess I've got my feet on both sides of the fence there.
Okay, you're going to be torn if it comes down to those two teams.
It will not.
Yeah, I was about to say no way.
It's not going to happen, man.
No, that's not.
No.
I'm hardly a fan, and even I know that is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No. Well, Delroy Lindo, it is a pleasure to talk to you, and we have invited you here today to play a game, and we are calling it
Sinners Meet the Saints.
I do think
so. You star in the movie Sinners, as said. So we thought we'd ask you.
I do think the U.S. women's team is gonna do exceptionally well. I think they have a chance of, and I think England's women's team is pretty good. So that might be a possibility on the women's side. But I think on the men's side, I don't think England's men's team is... I think they're good, but I don't think they're one of the top teams this year. And I'm pretty sure that the U.S. team isn't really in a class with the British team. Like, the British team has more of a chance of winning than the American team. But I haven't really been following it recently. So, I don't know.
3 questions about Saints, specifically the New Orleans Saints of the NFL, which, if you're not a fan, in this last season, 2025, improved on the prior year's 5-12 record by going 6-11. So So if you answer 2 out of 3 questions correctly, you will win our prize. One of our listeners, the voice of anyone from our show they might like on their voicemail. Bill, who is the great Delroy Lindo playing for?
Kevin Harmon of Detroit, Michigan.
Here's your first question. The Saints have been
win.
playing in the NFL since 1967, and for the first few decades, they weren't very good. After a 1-15 season in 1980, disappointed fans in New Orleans started calling them what? A, the New Orleans Aints. B, the New Orleans Taints. Or C, the Houston Saints.
I'm going to say the New Orleans Taints.
I wish it were, but it was the New Orleans Aints, I'm afraid. They took the S off, New Orleans Aints. They ain't very good. Here's your next question, though. You still have 2 more chances. The Saints are credited with an innovation in pro football. What was it? A, they were the first team to hire a choreographer for their end zone dancers. B, they were the first team to have a fan in the stands wear a paper bag over his head from embarrassment. Or C, they were the first team to make uniform pants tighter to increase fan appeal.
A.
C.
Am I allowed to ask for the right answer from somebody in the audience?
You are welcome to poll the audience, but the audience is yelling. The audience is yelling B.
I'm going with B also.
That is B. Yes. The man first to put a bag on his head out of embarrassment while watching a football game was named Mike Dilberto. He was a Saints fan and sometimes broadcaster. He was the first to do it, but hundreds soon followed. All right, here's your last question. You get this right, Delroy, you win it all for one of our listeners. The Saints, at one point, seemed to have a rather unlikely fan. Who was it? A, Pope Francis, who regularly accidentally tagged the team while trying to tweet about the other kind of Saints. B, a very popular burlesque dancer in NOLA who changed her name to the Nude Orleans Saint. Or C, a man who remained loyal to the team despite proposing to 3 different women on the Jumbotron on 3 different occasions and getting rejected by all of them.
D.
The Pope is right. Yes, Pope Francis. Devout man. Devoted to the Catholic Saints, but not very good at Twitter. He kept tagging the New Orleans Saints whenever he would praise the saints of the Catholic Church. Bill, how did Delroy Lindo do in our quiz?
2 out of 3 is a winner, which proves don't F with Delroy.
There you go.
Delroy Lindo, one of our great actors, he appears in Sinners, which will be up for a lot of awards, a million other things that we have loved and admired over the years. Delroy Lindo, thank you so much for joining us on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Bye, Delroy. Great.
In just a minute, lizards, they're just like us. That's in our Listener Limerick Challenge game. Call 1-888-WAIT-WAIT to join us on the air. We'll be back in a minute with more of Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me from NPR.
Minneapolis, every weekday afternoon.
And in Minnesota, a
NPR and WWDTM Chicago. This is Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm Bill Curtis. We're playing this week with Roy Blunt Jr., Paula Poundstone, and Joyelle Nicole Johnston. And here again is your host at the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, Illinois, Peter Sagal.
Thank you so much, Bill. In just a minute, new year, old game. It's our Listener Limerick Challenge. If you'd like to play, give us a call at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. Right now, panel, some more questions for you from the week's news. Joyelle, last month we lost an automobile engineer named Jim Moylan. He died at the age of 80. Now, Mr. Moylan was an unheralded hero because he was the man who brought us what huge advance in car design?
Intermittent wipers.
Airbags?
Yeah.
No, not airbags. You use it far more often, I hope, than you use your airbags.
Seatbelt.
Nope.
The brake.
That's right. Until Mr. Moylan came around in the 1980s, people would just drive their cars. And if they needed to stop it, they would just point it at some hard object and hope that it was anchored to the ground.
Wipers
I use my sunroof a lot.
Turn signals,
Not
maybe.
the sunroof. I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Every time you find yourself not having to try to stretch the gas line all the way around your car, you can say a little thank you to him.
Oh, the little arrow?
The
Oh,
little
arrow on the
yes.
thing.
The little arrow on the dashboard that
I
tells
got
you
there.
which side of the car the fuel tank is on.
I didn't know that existed.
Did he have a trademark on that or a patent?
Well, he was
I
working
only
for Ford.
recently
He came up
figured
with
it out.
it. Where would we be without this?
The
Trying to pump
Flintstones
gas
was a
into
documentary.
blank sheet metal? That's where, right? You're thinking, okay, maybe I'm just supposed to punch through it like the top of a juice box. Back in the 80s, Moylan worked for Ford Motors, and one day he got soaked in the rain, right, as he walked around to fill up his car to find out that the gas can was on the other side. So he wrote a memo to his bosses suggesting that they put little arrows on the fuel gauge on the dashboard telling the driver which side the fuel cap was on. And they did it. Brilliant. So that's how we get what is still called the Moylan arrow as well as the Moylan umbrella.
The irony is I've had my car for 5 years and I still use that arrow. every
Yes,
time
that's
I
the
go
thing.
get gas.
We all do.
I never have seen that. I
Now
didn't
that
even
I know it exists.
I'm going to go home tonight and find out whether I've been filling up the car on the right side.
Paula.
Sure.
I'm sure, like a lot of people, you would like a Brazilian butt lift, but
Okay, it's just a matter of money. That's the only thing. It's the only thing that's kept
and
me.
you do it, but you just can't stand the idea of synthetic fillers in your body. Well, good news, you can now inject yourself with fat.
Beef
harvested
tallow.
from what?
I don't know. Is it from another animal, I assume?
No, well, technically yes, an animal, but no.
From a person?
Yes,
You can,
from a
you can get celebrity butt fat?
Only if. Oh,
God, I would love that.
would you really?
Yep.
What celebrity do you
no,
have in mind?
I would not love that. The whole Brazilian butt lift
It's
thing.
not celebrities. Although it could be a celebrity, they just have to be dead.
Oh, God.
Yes, they're harvesting fat from dead people for Brazilian butt lifts.
Well, they're not using it.
That's the point.
Yeah. What are they? They're not shaking it.
Yeah. No, it sounds macabre to have dead people's fat injected into your bottoms.
It does.
To your bottom, but it can be beautiful. Imagine the healing power you could give a grieving family by letting them slap Grandpa's ass just one more time.
Soylent fat. Yeah.
Creepy as it is, I mean, there are other things that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad had ear surgery, and he ended up with cadaver bone to fix one of his ears.
There you go. Yep.
Did
I'm
not
not-
appreciate our questions about whether or not he was going to turn into a zombie.
No. Or if he could hear dead people.
How long does it last?
Yeah. Does it expire? You got to get that. Is it like fresh?
Well, technically, does it expire again?
Right.
This makes me want to like scribble in an addendum on my organ donor card, right? Yes, use my heart, use my lungs, whatever. But if you inject my fat into a skinny rich person's buttocks, I am going to haunt them.
I could be so skinny in the casket.
That's true. Here's the funny though:
I'm
if
not
if
against
your
plastic
own butt
surgery,
fat
but it does
has
feel like
value
the
after your
height of
death,
egoism.
can you
Yeah,
put
it
it in your
does.
will? I would like to divide my butt equally to each of my beloved children.
You got
one
two.
badunk.
Can make money. And leave that to your people.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there you go.
Would you have to insure it, like how violinists insure their hands?
Only if
So
you're
you have,
Beyonce.
you'd have, if you had a fabulous butt, you would insure it.
What do you mean if?
If some other
I don't
person.
know if y'all have seen the NPR calendar.
Coming up, it's Lightning Fill in the
Imagine
Blank. But
going
first,
to
it's
the
the
guy
game where you have
from
to listen to the
Farmers
rhyme. If
Insurance
you'd like to play
telling
on
him
air,
that?
call.
I mean, yes and no. I'd like to insure my butt, please. In fact, I'd like to insure all of my cellulite for its future value. Sorry, but we don't cover that. You'll have to go to, what was it, Harrods in England? Did Beyonce's butt?
I think so.
An NPR naked calendar that would solve all their donation drive needs.
One way or another.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I want to see that.
That's why it would actually solve problems.
Stevens Keep has his own full 12-month calendar. Yes. Oh God, I like a train wreck. Wouldn't be able to look away. I'd have to. I'd just like. I just can't help thinking about the Innskeep comb over. I'm gonna hit play before we go any further down this road. This is.
Leave a message at 1-888-WAIT-WAIT. That's 1-888-924-8924. You can see us most weeks right here at the Studebaker Theater in downtown Chicago. You can catch us on the road. You can find tickets and information about all our live shows at nprpresents.org. Hi, you're on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Hi, Peter. This is Marin.
Hey, Marin. Where are you calling from?
Olympia, Washington.
Olympia, Washington. I love Olympia, Washington. I have good friends who live there. It's a lovely,
yeah, it's beautiful here.
It's a lovely place. What do you do there?
Yeah. I am a program analyst for U.S. Department of Transportation.
Oh, really? Okay. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
How are things in transportation these days?
Things are going.
Yeah.
They're transporting.
What more need you say? Well, welcome to the show, Marin. Bill Curtis is going to read you 3 news-related limericks with a last word or phrase missing from each. If you can fill in that last word or phrase correctly in 2 of the limericks, you'll be a big winner. You ready to play?
All right.
Yes.
Here's your first limerick.
There's a species of colorful lizards who seem to be game-playing wizards. When searching for partners, they're brave, strong, or smarter. For mates, they play rock, paper,
scissors.
Right.
Yo.
A new study finds that the side-blotched lizard, when they're not wondering why we didn't name them literally anything else, plays rock, paper, scissors. Sort of. So the way it works is males of this species can grow up to be either orange, blue, or yellow. And when it comes to being chosen by mates, orange always wins out over blue, blue always wins out over yellow, but yellow always wins out over orange, right? It's a complex evolutionary adaptation that ensures the survival of their species and helps them decide who is the designated driver. I think it's a fascinating story about evolution. And further, scientists observed that because orange beats blue, right? Blues will sometimes team up to defeat an orange. In some cases, even dying while protecting an ally in the fight to mate.
Lizards don't do the poly thing?
No, as far as I know, they do not. All right, Marin, here is your next limerick.
There is free use of Spot, Dick, and Jane. With Miss Marple, they're sipping champagne. Sam Spade, Nancy Drew, they're all joining the crew. Because they're all
Public
in
domain.
the public.
Public domain.
Domain, yes. Film, music, and literature that was copyrighted in 1930 has now entered the public domain. You know what that means. Get ready to see your beloved classic turned into a slasher film, porn, or slasher porn. Nancy Drew books are on the list, along with the Dick and Jane children's books.
Well, it's going to be called Dick and Jane now.
Yeah, it is. They don't change the title.
I thought he was going for Dick and Cheney. Because that would be a horror slasher film.
Yes, it would.
With a porn name.
Oh, definitely.
Other works include The Little Engine That Could.
Oh, no.
All of a sudden, everything sounds dirty in this concept.
Yep.
What's interesting is that whenever this happens, it happened a couple years ago with Winnie the Pooh. The first thing that people do is make a horror movie.
Yep.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, horror movie slasher.
Oh, they
Winnie the
did?
Pooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy Drew, serial killer.
The New Testament.
Oh, absolutely.
Ends badly.
Yeah. Here is your last limerick.
My weekends no longer are fun days, so I'm getting a head start on Monday. I am not at my best, with 2 days of rest, so I'm starting my work week on
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. More and more workers are getting a head start on the work week by working on Sunday. They say it's a way to
See Spot de Bath, the Iraq War, Popeye horror. There was a crucifixion in it.
Yes, we fully agree. We are not doing that.
Well, actually, yeah, no, because our work week ends on Sunday. I mean,
I am able to sit here, drink my tea, and still be in my pajamas. Therefore, I am not technically counting this as work.
fair
Which is also
enough.
part of the reason why I don't turn the camera on ever.
Fair enough. But it is corporate. I mean, there is a company that we are... Obviously, if that's your schedule, sure, right? Right. But, yeah, no, I'm days off are days off. I should not be working on a day off. Nah.
Exactly.
Nah. All right.
They say it's a way to... So, I see we have some dedicated Christians in the room, and I appreciate that. Day of rest. More and more workers are getting a head start on the work week by working on Sunday. They say it's a way to alleviate the nerves and big workload they are walking into on Monday. Perfect. No more Sunday scaries. Now you have Saturday scaries.
Right.
People say it gives them the chance to work without the distraction of phone calls, slacks, and interruptions from their colleagues constantly saying, Mondays, am I right?
I've done a lot of work on Sundays, but it's from putting it off all week.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's different.
Yeah. I wrote many a fine book report on Sundays when I was growing up.
Wait, they're going to work from Sunday and then...
They go into work on Monday, yeah.
But then just Saturday is their only day off?
No, but these people start slacking on Thursday.
I hope so. Slack at your jobs, people.
Yeah. And she means don't work. She doesn't mean get on Slack.
I didn't even know Slack was a job thing because I don't have a job.
Exactly. Bill, how did Marin do in our quiz?
Winner, winner, winner. Congratulations.
Well done, Marin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for playing.
My very Catholic mother that
Odds with Scott Carter wherever.
Gyeongju on the line from Moscow. To play questions as they can. Each correct answer now worth 2 points. Bill, can you give us the scores?
Roy and Paula each have...
Let's see. What are our scores going in? Having to do some math real quick. All right.
And Joelle has 4.
Big money, big money.
You're right. Well, you're leading going away, so Roy and Paula are tied. Roy, why don't we say you should go first? Here we go. Okay. The clock will start when they begin. Your first question, fill in the blank. During his court appearance in Brooklyn, New York on Monday, blank pleaded not guilty to drug and weapons charges.
Oh, the president of Venezuela.
Right, Nicolas Maduro. This week, the White House said it's still considering using military force to take control of blank.
Greenland.
Right. On Monday, BYD overtook Tesla as the #1 seller of
Electric
blanks.
cars.
Electric
cars.
Right. This week, a Salvation Army bell ringer outside a supermarket in Florida took a break from collecting donations to blank.
To
Steal them?
rob the store.
No, to try to impale the store manager with the stand the donation bucket was hanging from.
Oh.
On Thursday, researchers
Okay.
said that regular exercise may be as effective as therapy at treating blank.
Depression.
Mental health.
Moping around.
I'm going to give it to you. It's depression.
Depression.
After 19 years of marriage, Keith Urban finalized his divorce from blank on Monday.
Nicole Kidman.
Right. This week, a man in Italy sued a restaurant after their promotional TikTok video showed him blanking.
chewing really in an awful manner with his mouth open.
No, more embarrassing. The TikTok video they put out to advertise their restaurant showed this man having an affair.
Oh.
The man thought he was far enough away from his house when he chose the restaurant where he'd have dinner with his mistress, but didn't realize they were filming a promotional video for TikTok, which his wife saw shortly after it was posted.
Boy.
The next time he cheats, he's sworn to do it somewhere where there are too many people around him for him to be picked out of a crowd, like a Coldplay concert.
That was a fun day.
Bill, how did Roy do in our quiz?
Well, he got 5 right, 10 more points, total of 12, which puts him in the lead.
All right. You're up next, Paula.
I'm ready.
Fill in the blank. On Monday, the Justice Department revealed that they'd released only about 1% of the blank files.
Epstein.
Right. On Thursday, the House agreed to vote on an extension to blank subsidies.
The ACA tax.
Yes, Obamacare. This week, the number of available blanks in the U.S. hit their lowest level in a year.
Available jobs?
Yes, on Monday, Pete Hegseth said he was cutting Senator Blank's military retirement pay.
Kelly.
Right.
Yeah.
This week, police again have arrested someone for possessing a bag full of drugs that were stored in a bag labeled blank.
Drugs.
Bag full of
Not
drugs.
drugs.
No, it was labeled. no,
drugs.
Paula, they're smarter than that. It was labeled definitely not a bag full of drugs.
Yeah.
Damn it.
According to a new study, users of blanks regained their lost weight after about 18 months.
Those shots, like Ozempic kind
Yeah,
of thing.
GLP-1s they're called. Citing health concerns, NASA announced that the current crew of the blank would return to Earth earlier than expected.
The crew up on the space shuttle.
Right. This week, a thief who stole 2 mandolins from a music store in New Jersey returned them along with a note that read blank.
They sound horrible.
I stole these accidentally.
No,
These are
the
not
note
good
with the
guitars.
stolen and returned mandolins said, quote, "Sorry, I've been drunk. Merry Christmas." Owners of the music store were shocked to find the 2 stolen mandolins returned to the store, along with a note that blamed the theft on the thief being drunk. Can you imagine how drunk you have to be, though, to suddenly think it's a good idea to start a Mumford & Sons cover band?
Yes,
Bill,
you
how
have
did
to be
Paula
as
do in our
drunk
quiz?
as Mumford
6 right,
Sons.
12 more points, and total of 14.
Yay, all right.
Yes. My favorite part of the game.
How many does Joyelle need to win?
5 to tie, 6 to win.
Here we go. All right, Joyelle, here we go. This is for the game. This Tuesday marks the 5th anniversary of the insurrection at the blank.
White House.
Oh, the Capitol.
White House.
On Monday, a senator from Ohio proposed a law making dual blank illegal.
Citizenship.
Yeah, this week the CDC warned that doctors' visits for the blank have reached the highest level in 25 years.
Flu.
Doctor's visits for
The
Measles.
blank.
plague.
Ha! The flu. On Monday, board members of the Corporation for Blank voted to dissolve the organization.
Public broadcasting.
No, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. This week, a man in China sued his employer after they fired him for blanking while at work.
Sleeping.
Taking a nap.
No, taking 4-hour bathroom breaks. The company says they fired the
He was
employee.
probably taking a nap up in there.
Could be, but he says not. The company says that they fired the employee because he was regularly taking 4-hour-long bathroom breaks while on the clock. Fair, okay. But when they're that long, aren't you technically taking work breaks from pooping?
That's the kind of employee I support.
Absolutely. Bill, did Joyelle do well enough to win?
2 right, 4 more points, 8. No is the word for Joyelle.
There you go.
But it's Paula. Think about Paula, the winner.
In just a minute, we're going to ask our panelists to predict, now that we have a new food pyramid, what will be the next new food to go on sale. But first, let me tell you all that Wait, Don't Tell Me is a production of NPR and WBEZ Chicago in association with Urgent Haircut Productions, Doug Berman, Benevolent Overlord. Philip Gotica writes our limericks. Our public address announcer is Paul Friedman. Our tour manager is Shana Donald, thanks to the staff and crew at the Studebaker Theater. BJ Liederman composed our theme. Our program is produced by Jennifer Mills, Miles Dornbos, and Lillian King. Special thanks this week to Mohamed El Sheikhi and Monica Hickey. Peter Gwynn is definitely not a bag full of drugs. Emma Choi is our visual host. Technical directions from Lorna White. Our CFO is Colin Miller. Our production manager is Robert Newhouse. Our senior producer is Ian Chillog. And the executive producer of Wait, Don't Tell Me is Mike Danforth. Now, panel, thanks to our new food pyramid, what will be the next new food product on the market? Joyelle Nicole Johnson.
Pig feet, hog maws, and chitlins.
Roy Blunt Jr.
A variety of meat-flavored M&Ms.
And Paula Poundstone.
beef tallow ice cream.
There you go.
Well, if any of that happens, we're going to ask you about it on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Thank you, Bill Curtis. Thanks also to Joyelle Nicole Johnson, Roy Blunt Jr., and Paula Poundstone. Thanks to our fabulous audience here at the Studebaker Theater in downtown Chicago, Illinois. Thanks to all of you for listening wherever you might be. I'm Peter Sagal. We'll see you next week. This is NPR.
Well, all right. So, final scores were me coming in a distant second with 27, and Kat taking a commanding lead with 35. So, Maddie said, there's a nasty rumor that Trump ordered an invasion of Greenland and the military top refused it.
Ooh, good. I'm glad that they refused it.
Yeah, I am too. That is a disturbing thought.
Oh.
There's...
It's not like the week hasn't been full of disturbing thoughts.
Right. I almost don't want to talk about it just because, it's gonna be so heavy.
I mean, it would have been heavy yesterday, too, so it doesn't matter one way or the other.
Right.
Oh.
Well, there is a... Okay, interesting. Trump orders top army officials to plan to invade Greenland. From Mediaite, Joe DiPaolo. It's not quite as bad as how I'd heard it, but they're still telling him no.
Yeah, good.
Okay. UK Daily Mail is reporting that President Trump, buoyed by the recent strike on Venezuela, has ordered his special forces commanders to come up with a plan to invade Greenland. In a piece published late Saturday, the Mail reports Trump has asked the Joint Special Operations Command to come up with an invasion plan, but the Joint Chiefs are resisting because they believe an invasion would be illegal and lack congressional support. I think more than illegal, they're worried about it being bad PR. There's some ways of spinning and twisting the Venezuela story that make it not that somehow give him some kind of, but they're
Plus,
still
Denmark has
no.
openly said, try it, and we will go to war.
Yeah. It's not just bad PR. It would destroy a near century of alliances in international political structures and protections. Yeah. Yes. Whereas doing this to Venezuela obviously didn't, and I think didn't have the same weight of destroying those sorts of things. Yeah. Since Congress would not allow Trump to exit NATO, occupying Greenland could force the Europeans to abandon NATO. the cable said, according to the Mail, if Trump wants to end NATO, this might be the most convenient way to do it. And there is that. There is that. So I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by whoever's firing guns off in the distance again. It's been almost constant the entire show. And it's hard for me to concentrate, like, with gunfire going on. So, yeah, the subject we've been dancing around, though, the thing that we haven't talked about, the Minnesota shooting, the murder of the woman in Minnesota by an ICE agent has been
slightly less publicized. The shooting of the couple in Portland the very next day.
Yes, and the shooting of the couple in Portland the very next day. These are things that I didn't want to watch the video, but I did. I saw some video because I watched Leisha Miller talking about the Minnesota one because she's from Minnesota. Mm-hmm. You know, that happened right down the street from her, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk too deeply about this here just because it's such a it's such an emotional thing. Like I'm still pretty upset about it. I'm still pretty angry. I'm still pretty, like, you know, I'm also kind of terrified. I do feel like maybe there need to be some of us who are willing to put ourselves out there in the middle of it and get hurt. But I don't think that she was... I don't think that was a choice she was trying to make. And I think, you know, the people who do volunteer for that hard stuff, even that, it's like none of us should have to get hurt to prove that we're humans and to be that's the actual backbone of nonviolent protesting and activism, is the people who are willing to take the hit and make the power structure bring into visibility the violence of the power structure, that they don't hurt other people, but they direct the governmental violence against their own bodies. Yeah. That is the, you know, exposing the violence in the system. But that's not, you know, to force mainstream opinion to stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the big part of that there.
Yeah. But she wasn't there for that. She just saw some crap going on her way after dropping her son off. She saw some crap going on and pulled out her phone to take some video, and like most normal people do. You know, most of us are not trying to be... and yes, I have watched Mary Poppins on many occasions. She was being an observer. You know, she was doing the observing thing. But... oh, yeah, the mother was out politicking and advocating for women's suffrage, and she talks about throwing their bodies under the carriage wheels.
Yep.
Her big song was literally about committing hyper-violent acts of resistance. Yeah. And chaining. Yeah. And I loved her song. Her song was wonderful. Mm-hmm. But definitely, you know, this woman wasn't necessarily trying to do that right then. She hadn't made that call. That call got made for her by undertrained, over-militarized, extrajudicial police. Yeah. And trying to get her maids active and protect them with their jobs and social status. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this woman was, I mean... it's... no one deserves to get shot for protesting. You know? Right. She's just in her car. Good was just in her car. Good was just in her car trying to go somewhere. And it was not... you know... But even those of us who do feel comfortable putting our bodies in the way of harm don't necessarily deserve it, you know? And being turned into villains out of kind, being called, having then the right is trying to equivocate her with Ashley, what's her name? Yeah. Ashley, what's her name? Yeah, it's she's not... They've tried to call her every form of name. They've tried to justify this in every way they can, and it's disgusting to me, and upsetting, and it shows an extreme amount of weakness in their position that they cannot justify their behaviors and can't in some way, I mean, they are justifying it through lying about this woman, through lying about what we see in the videos.
And the name calling started right at that moment.
Right. It's... it is, this is the beginnings of the extrajudicial militarized police force of the powerful party.
Like I said, that.
Hold on, let me click allow real quick.
Yeah.
There we go.
The name calling started right when they pulled the trigger.
Yeah, and then and he called her an F-word bitch.
Mm-hmm.
It is upsetting. This whole thing is very upsetting, and I see this as, this isn't, of course, the first extrajudicial murder committed by an over-militarized police force.
Except for ICE is not supposed to be a police force. They are supposed to be a civil.
That's what I'm getting to. This is the first extrajudicial police force. They aren't a police force. They are extrajudicial in that way.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure this is the first time ICE has killed people before.
ICE has. They have. They absolutely have.
This is not the first time they've killed a citizen.
But this is the first time that they have it on video where it was really, really clear that the person didn't actually have a weapon in their hands aiming at them.
Also,
that the person was trying to follow 4 different sets of orders, and that the person was mayonnaided.
Thank you. That's where I was getting. It's the first white person. And you notice how much that. And that in and of itself is kind of upsetting. That it's required them killing a white person for it to matter. So yeah.
And to add to that, you've got, like I mentioned, the Portland couple.
Right.
That an unmarked car is trying to tell them to pull over and they didn't, so they got shot. And they took themselves to the emergency room because they had an unmarked car chasing them, which eventually just gave up. And instead of doing what actual law enforcement is supposed to do, which is if you've used force, you're supposed to render aid, they just let them go and then tried to charge them with a hit and run.
What did they hit? Or is it that they got
They ran into the bullets in the gun.
Okay.
And then after that, you've got more agents being bold and walking up to people and telling them on camera that they need to leave them alone before they make a sad decision or make a tragic decision or make an ill-advised decision that day.
That is,
and
again, this is authoritarian extrajudicial police behavior. This is the larger picture here is that this is now the pattern that will lead to the subjugative policing of America.
Mm-hmm.
currently, ICE isn't big enough to cover more than a couple of cities, a few cities at a time. And not even the big ones. They've got to focus on mid-sized to large, but not big.
They tried LA, but they couldn't cover as much of LA as they wanted.
Right. So, this is, you know, I would say I think he's overplayed the hand a little early in that way. That he doesn't have the numbers, the tactical numbers for the overwhelming victory that he wants. And that's on a strategic level, that's where he's gonna fail. This is he's started the violent exchange too soon.
Yeah.
It is, you know, this is the start of the set of trades in a chess match that will lead you to the end game, where you have to figure out how to trap them and not get trapped with a very limited number of pieces.
And
now, for him, he's going to end up with the more limited number of pieces. For the administration, they are going to end up with the more limited number of pieces because he didn't have the numbers to begin with. He's going to have to bring in some sort of outside of ICE help. That may include our armed neighbors who are themselves magorific. It may include bringing in outside militaries.
Which will go over very well with certain elements.
Actual police forces and the actual military. Yeah, that will become a rallying point. And that's the thing. He doesn't have the military to do his bidding here.
Not like he thinks he does, anyway.
Right.
Because, be honest, he thinks that everybody will do everything he says and bend to his will.
Right. However, as the military has shown, they're not comfortable operating on domestic soil. You know, even when the National Guard was sent out to try to operate to assist ICE, the National Guard was like, nah. I mean, they showed up and all. They did stuff, but they didn't do stuff.
And his judges are starting to be like, you know what? No, you can't actually make these orders.
And his
there's more of
base
those.
Of power is starting to erode. His actual real base of power is the belief that Congress has that he has power. His power is very literally coming from Congress.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and Congress is starting to turn on him as he is violating these principles.
Yep.
You know, even the single issue voters are turning on him because they're like, they're beginning to go, you know, abortion ain't that important. You know,
I still need to eat. I still need to do this.
Right.
I still need to do that.
He's losing them to kitchen table issues and the other single issues that would get them to vote.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming from the erosion of both SCOTUS and the legislature. Yeah.
Yep.
But SCOTUS and the legislature are turning on POTUS. And that erosion of power.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Yup. And Congress very much can very easily take power back from the president.
Yes.
And SCOTUS can't really do much about it. You know?
Nope. Not if they do it the right way.
Right. Stuff's not going up to the Supreme Court if Congress. That erosion started around the 1970s with Nixon, at least. Yes, that is true. That is true, and we have had some presidents work very hard to get us to where we are. You know, and I think SCOTUS can, they just don't want to. Yeah. I think they'll be more inclined to when Congress turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Roberts is a craven saboteur.
Yes. I am fine with both of them. A craven saboteur.
Yeah.
Because he wants the approval of Papa Orange.
But people only want that approval as long as the bulk of Congress, as long as the bulk of the Republicans in Congress are behind him. A lot of where his power over Congress came from, Thomas and Alito will be voluntold to retire beforehand, and Roberts will be forced out one way or another. Yeah. A lot of where Trump's power over Congress originally came from was from the danger that the MAGA base of voters, the very real physical threat that they posed to Congress, to the members of Congress, the members of the Republican Party, who they saw as betraying them.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual numbers of super violent, dangerous MAGA members is dropping. And as MAGA members are losing their faith in him because he is doing these things that is not according to what, the principles through which he laid out. Every time he comes up against, one of these campaign promises versus something that would enrich his friends, he makes the choice to enrich his friends, himself or his friends. And as he does these things, and you see this little bit of pushback from his own base, you begin to see Congress realizing that, maybe they're not in quite as much actual danger as they thought they were. Mm-hmm. That a lot of these people are keyboard warriors, and that it requires them in the numbers that they were in January 6th to actually do any damage. There is this eroding sense of Trump's power. And it's very it's not very, the feeling is deep. The erosion is not yet. But this is, to my foresight, this is the beginnings of his real downhill slide. This is where things are going to start. Now, it is also possible that things could plateau out for a little while. We went really far down here with this extrajudicial killing of a white American citizen on American land by an unidentified identified. We know the killer's name is Jonathan Ross, and we know that as of yet he hasn't really faced any consequences.
But hopefully the state of Minnesota will bring charges despite federal charges being
right. However, the state has been told they're not allowed to investigate this.
Which is a load of horse hockey.
I know. We know. This is, again, all of the aspects of this, each aspect of this is rubbing someone the wrong way. Not just, those of us who all of it is rubbing every way that is wrong. But there are, in his base, there are things about this that rub people the wrong way, and it's different things for different people, but everything, so a lot of things about this are helping to erode his base, so I do think though that what we're going to see, because we're going to see this energize the left in terms of protesting, and I think this will energize the left in terms of direct action around ICE. Like, if we see something, we're gonna say something. I think there are a lot of people who are willing to put themselves in the way now, and might. And
I think it's become more clear that we are at that point.
Right.
And so now people that are getting in the way are making that conscious choice of doing so.
All right, I'm doing this now. This may be the last choice I ever make. I make this choice well,
Because there were a number of those videos that I've seen this week from agents giving their warnings about bad decisions or poor decisions, and the people saying, "No, thank you. I'm going to keep observing you."
Right. You go ahead and make whatever decision you want. I'm going to keep observing. Now, I don't want to be so callous as to say any of this is a good thing because it's energizing. But no, this is an awful thing. And honestly, the left should have been more, more energized before this, so this didn't have to happen. But this happened. So I think this, now that the left is accepting that we're at this point, I think that will be forcing ICE to either disengage or engage, but it will be forcing the issue.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the beginnings of that set of chess moves that those set of chess trades that lead us to that end game, and all of this is happening before the midterms. This is happening too early for Trump's good.
You know, all of the movies have shown that it's supposed to be an alien invasion or some sort of giant climate catastrophe that makes everybody pull together and start doing things. And unfortunately, it feels very much like we are at the point where it's an orange turnip head that's going to make us do that.
Right.
Because I have been seeing what are probably tongue-in-cheek reports, but it also feels like they're not far from the truth of various cities looking around at this and going, you know what? I may wear red, you might wear blue, but we're going to get together and throw all of those people out.
Yeah.
And we will deal with our disagreements after they're gone.
Pardon me for a second.
Yes, we are.
Woo. Okay. I mean, yeah. It's, it feels like they should be. It feels like that's the kind of thing that municipalities and localities want to do. Are we the Independence Day aliens? Yes. Yes, we are. Or yes, they are, I guess. But, so yeah, it is the, I can see why localities and municipalities want to come together around this stuff and, because this really threatens their autonomy. This is very much large centralized government. This is very centralized power. This is not Republican in that way. This is not right wing in that way. This is decentralized, this is not the decentralized states' rights, city rights, individualism that the right seems to espouse. And the thing is it's not the benevolent bureaucracy that the left wants either. This is very much of a authoritarian dictatorship. At least that's what they want, is an authoritarian dictatorship that has no regard for those who are not in the socioeconomic upper class. That's very much what we're looking at there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
To end things on a nice and depressing note, but we did have to talk about it.
Oh yeah, no, we did.
Yeah, well, right, exactly. Good
Yeah,
night,
good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night, Gracie.
On a more, well, not heartwarming, but on a more humanitarian note, there was a GoFundMe for her family.
Oh, yeah? I bet you that
And
did.
her wife has turned off accepting donations to it.
Because they got done, they reached their goals.
Because it hit $1.2 million overnight, and she was shocked and said, "That is more than enough. I am fine.
Right.
We will be fine."
Right. That's for a leftist, that's an unnecessary amount of money.
Our children will be taken well care of.
Probably maxed out, yeah. Well, all right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Stick around for the raid, because we will be raiding out to the Sunday No Pants raid train. I have no idea who it is right now. Lockpick. It is DJ Lockpick of the Sunday No Pants raid train. And yeah. Thank you, Kat, for being here. Thank you, Peanut Gallery, even though he's already gone to work.
Yep.
Thank you, Maddie Holmes. Thank you for all your input in the chat. Always love that. Thank you, Just Me Crystal. Much love. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Chris into 386, for being here. And I believe that was everybody who was in chat.
Yep.
Much love to the lurkers. Thank you, everybody. Stick around for the raid. And now is the time on the show when I say, as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down, VA, double deuces. We're out, y'all.